spruce trees that are dying from the bottom,
Yeah.
trim them?
Yes, if they're dying from the bottom up, you know, the spruce, like blue spruce, and blue spruce are the ones that typically do that. If they're dying from the bottom, quite often that's canker disease, Cytospora canker. And it tends to start in the lower branches and will slowly kind of kill them all, you know, not all the way to the top, a third of the way up or so. If you get out there and prune them off, that helps slow the disease. It won't stop the disease. And you want to do it during dry weather, which we're not having a problem with this year. And it doesn't matter what you do with the branches afterwards. It's not like you're going to spread it back. The disease is so prevalent in Colorado spruce, we think they're almost born with the disease. It just doesn't start showing up until they get older. Because I always get asked, like I got asked today, you know, I'm looking at trees, spruce, and the lower branches are beginning to decline, and I look in and I see those bluish-white blotches on the branches. I go, well, that's Cytospora canker. And, well, what's that? That's fungus disease. Well, did it spread from my neighbors? No. Can't blame the neighbors for this one. It could have come from anywhere. It came when the trees were little. It just doesn't really show up until the tree gets mature. And actually, the other time it starts showing up, if I look at a spruce belt, once the spruce start to touch, then we start seeing that disease start to come in. You know, when I see 8-foot spacing, yeah, it starts coming a lot earlier than if I see 16-foot spacing. And I advocate 25-foot spacing, and nobody will go with me on that. I know why. But that gives you a lot of time for the trees to grow. But you're looking at a big empty space. And I get a lot of people say, well, I'll just cut out every other one. No, you won't. And I was up in Fulton, and sure enough, they even said, I'm looking at 8-foot spacings, and the trees are mature, and the lower branches are just about dead because they're not getting any sunlight. And they even said, I said, geez, it would have been a lot better on 16. He said, you know what? We had planned on cutting every other one out. Well, the trees were 25 feet tall now. So, well, how many years did you think about this? You know, and I know that we all procrastinate because you can always, I'll do it next year. Well, now they're dead. So, what spacing do you put the spruce on? I know it isn't 25.
Well, I try to do it at 16 or 18.
Well, that's great.
It is kind of funny because I had one guy, I think I had him at 18, and he went out there after we got done planting and putting fabric on, and he goes, no, that's too far apart. I have spruce trees that are 7 years old and they're still not touching. You need to come back and hand plant in between. So we did, and I warned him. I said, it's still a little too close, you know, you're gonna see it happen in 20 years when they're touching, you know. He insisted I had to put trees in between, but
I know.
we did it.
I know, and you know, when you talk to those people 25 years later, you know, they, oh yeah, you're right, I should have. And but you know, maybe you know of somebody, but I've yet to find someone who actually cuts out every other tree. We had, back when the building boom was going on, we had a couple of spade operators down in the Sioux Falls area that were actually looking for people to do, you know, they'd come out and say, well, take out every other tree. And I think they were paying like $75 a tree. So yeah, you can do that. Some people take advantage of that, should take advantage of that. I mean, you know, making some money off it if they don't need them somewhere else. But yeah, nobody, or except for one guy, nobody ever does it. They wait until they grow in and then they ask me, what do they spray? Nothing you can spray at that. I don't worry about deciduous being too close together. I mean, I like space in there too, but quite honestly, I've seen some. I remember 40 years ago looking at a row of deciduous trees that literally looked like a stockade fence, and they were fine. You know, it was a linden tree, so you don't worry about shading on those.
I guess the only thing I see with problems with that, when they're too close this way and this way, I've seen a lot of them not growing at all. They might hit like 10 feet and they're just little twigs, and
depends on the tree.
Deprived of a lot
depends
of
on
stuff.
the tree. You're right there. But like I say, on these lindens, it didn't matter. And with the with them generally, you don't need to worry about it. But you're right, some trees, actually ponderosa pines like this too, they'll just stop if there's not enough for everybody and really slow it down. Others will kind of take advantage and kill each other until somebody wins. So some self-thin, I guess, however. But yeah, the spruce and the cedars are the ones that I really, they just get them too close.